Hey everybody, happy holidays. We're going to talk about slimming for the holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving, whether it's Christmas, whether it's Easter, whether it's Passover, whether it's the 4th of July, because in my house we celebrate all year long. We have Jewish holidays, we have national holidays, and we have birthdays and special occasions. So the idea here is that you shouldn't feel deprived. No, not when you're eating and slimming for the holidays the correct way. And I want to give you just some really quick tips that you can use. The first one is that you should always have a little bit of cranberry in the house. And since this is the season when cranberry is in season, it's a good idea to go out now to the supermarket, buy your cranberries. A lot of them are frozen, some of them are fresh, but you can freeze them and use them year round. Now what I like to do is take at least 1 ounce of let's say cranberry juice, and I don't have that with me, but if you had cranberry juice, unsweetened cranberry juice, you then put in 7 ounces of water and you could make a drink throughout the day, maybe 4 or 5 times a day. If you have something like the cranberry juice concentrate, you can take a tablespoon and about a quart of water and then drink throughout the day. The beauty of the cran is as follows. Not only is it a Native American food and berry, it's very high in bioflavonoids, very good for the blood thinning. It's very good for your blood pressure. It's also good for your blood sugar, so it's very balancing throughout. But what I like it for best of all is that it's very cleansing. So if you overdo sugar, or if you overdo alcohol, or you overdo dairy, this will clean and flush your lymphatic system so that you're feeling fine and you're not gaining weight. It also contains 4 or 5 digestive acids that you can't find in any other berry. So cranberry to the rescue any time of the year. My second tip during the holidays is that when you're going out to eat, always make sure that you have 3 things first. The first is make sure you have a really good oil with you, or that the restaurant carries a very good oil. The best oils that are usually available in most restaurants these days are olive oil. Most restaurants also use canola oil, so I would suggest going to a very fine Italian restaurant or Greek restaurant where you know they're going to use 100% virgin olive oil. Then I'd have all my food steamed, I'd have it cooked in the oil, and then you want high quality protein as well. The problem is all those hidden sugars and alcohol. So if you fill up on the right kind of protein and the right kind of oil, you're not going to have any room for any of those other carbohydrates that can really sneak up on you and then have you have this creeping weight gain. Beyond that, the other really important thing, I think, is when you're going out to eat or you're going out to an affair and you know that there's going to be food or there's going to be drink or a little bit of alcohol that you're not going to be able to resist because you have to be social. So what I do when I'm going out, and I do this consistently throughout the year, is I get a slice of my new favorite find, which is a Fat Flush new favorite. It's called Follow Your Heart, and I'm holding up a smoked Gouda sliced cheese. I take 1 to 2 slices of the smoked Gouda, or there are other varieties. There's a mozzarella that I think they have, and then there's one more that's really quite delicious with jalapenos. I take 1 or 2 slices, and I know that this is very helpful for my blood sugar because it contains coconut oil, which is very satisfying, very good for your lymphatic system as well as your thyroid because it really helps to amp up fat burning. So I take 1 to 2 slices. It cuts my need for something sweet. It satisfies my blood sugar so I'm not tempted to overeat. When it comes to alcohol, I think the following is important. I think moderation is key. If you're going to be drinking at all, in my estimation, based on some of the latest research, interestingly enough, if you take a little bit of the hard stuff, a little bit of the hard liquor, let's say 3/4 of an ounce, which is what the latest study talked about, which is very little, and you balance that with maybe some Perrier or what do they have out there? They have tonic waters, and maybe put a little bit of the cran in there. I think you've got a wonderful drink. The problem is that when you're drinking a lot of wine or a lot of beer, they're very yeasty. And when you're drinking a lot of these beverages, they can feed internal yeast and put you on a sugar roller coaster ride. The other thing that I think is very important when you're going out to eat or when you're wanting something sweet as a little dessert or a little pick-me-up snack or a little tonic is to make sure that you have plenty of herbals in the house. My favorite herbal tea is the bangle spice. And what I like about bangle spice is that it has a combination of chicory, roasted carob, black pepper, cloves, and nutmeg, as well as cardamom and ginger. Very, very tempting this time of the year. Very spicy, not too spicy, but certainly very lovely to combine with a little bit of cranberry. And if you combine the two, and you can create a recipe for the two, you have like a cranberry mead, like a spiced cranberry, which I think in some circles would go over quite well. And so, bangle spice, lovely little drink between meals or during the holidays because it has all those wonderful pumpkin pie type spices, very warming, very good for the digestion, very good for the liver because of the cardamom, which is good for phase 2 detoxification, as well as the ginger, which is actually a thermogenic herb. So when it comes to other things that you can do during the holidays, and we're talking about now till, let's say, Christmas and a little bit thereafter, maybe up to New Year's, which is the time when people can traditionally gain up to 15 pounds of weight, just by going out to eat and going to all these parties. I think one thing you should consider, and that is this new salad dressing which is on the market, and it's called Olive Your Heart. You see this right here. It's from my good friends at Carlson, and apparently there's a $3 coupon. I just saw this little tag, which is really kind of nifty, that they're now making available in most health food stores around the country. So this is a premium olive oil from Greece, and it's combined, even though this doesn't sound tasty, it actually is very good, with a kind of flavored fish oil, a marine oil sourced from very wild-caught deep cold fish. So the idea here is that you're getting the olive oil, which is so good for your heart, which is important this time of the year, and the omega-3s. And this particular kind of omega-3, the EPA and the DHA that you get directly from fish oil, is particularly good because it helps to lower triglycerides. And at this time of the year, we worry about triglycerides because you're eating maybe too much sugar, too much fruit, drinking too much alcohol. This will keep it in check. There's nothing like fish oil to lower your triglycerides. So between all of these little tricks of the trade, the cranberry or the cranberry juice or the concentrated cranberry that you can buy in the health food stores, my favorite bangle spice with all the healing, thermogenic, and digestive aiding herbs and spices, as well as Follow Your Heart, smoked Gouda, or the other varieties that I mentioned, just to really take the edge off your appetite, because one of the first ingredients is coconut oil. Very good for satisfying your hunger and very good for the thyroid. As well as this new I Love Your Heart, I love the title, I Love Your Heart plus fish oil. You can't believe how tasty this is. You cannot taste the fish oil. And you can put this on salads. You can't cook with it because of the fish oil, but it's great even drizzled on popcorn. I hate to say it, but I air pop popcorn this time of the year just to drizzle some of this stuff on there. So, having said that, I want to remind you that I'm told that there is a sale. There is a Black Friday on Wednesday type of sale that's going on today. And today you can get 30% off of a wonderful slimming CLA, which is a really important omega-6, very good in terms of targeting abdominal fat, sometimes even targeting and exciting and activating your brown fat, which is important because it's so dormant in overweight people. CLA taken at 2,000, probably 3 times a day, 2,000 mgs 3 times a day, throughout the next 2 weeks will be very helpful to really whittle down your waist. I think of anything that I've ever found that's on the market, when you talk about a magic bullet and a magic pill, CLA certainly qualifies. So now if you go to unikeyhealth.com, I think that's where all of the sales are going on. And for the next 2 days, or maybe the next 5 days, I think they're going to have some other wonderful Black Friday every single day of the week sales. So, having said that, I'm just wondering if there are any questions that I can answer for you. And I'm going to ask my very good friend Matt, who's sitting on the other side of this camera, to read me some of those questions.
First question is, where can I buy the oil?
So the question was, where can you buy the oil? Well, this is I Love Your Heart, this really nifty oil. And you're going to thank me for this, because this is good for anybody that has heart issues. Very specifically, this is because it's called I Love Your Heart, of course. Anyways, it's good for your heart because of the olive oil, and it's good for your heart because of the fish oil. Get it at any health food store. I mean, I've seen it in some of the health food supermarkets, or even those supermarkets that are not necessarily health food oriented, but that carry major sections in their stores that cater to a natural foods market. So I've seen this all over the place. Now, it's a Carlson's product, so if you go on Carlson's website, you can find out where this is located. Delicious, and you're going to thank me. I now use this consistently, again, on air popcorn, which I do love this time of the year because I find it very warming. I try to bring it into the movie theater. I hide it. I bring it into the movie theater with I Love Your Heart on it. And I also think it's terrific as a salad dressing or just drizzled on food. I've had it drizzled on sweet potatoes, baked potatoes, and steamed veggies. Other questions, Matt?
How do you spell the name of the tea?
How do you spell the name of the tea? Well, it's a Celestial Seasonings tea, and it's Bangle Spice. So, Bangle, B-E-N-G-A-L, Bangle Spice tea. It's brimming with cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, and cloves, and it's an adventurous blend which is like a trip to an exotic spice market in a faraway land. I mean, it really is. And combined, and I'll tell you, I hope somebody will make a recipe up and then send it to me. I think combined with the cranberry juice, this makes quite a great combination. Matt, take it away. More questions.
And where can we get the cranberry and the cheese as well?
So where do you get the cranberry and the cheese? Cranberry you can get in any supermarket. And you could get the cranberry juice, the Knudsen's cranberry juice, just cranberry, or you can get the Knudsen's cranberry juice concentrate. I think this is probably, and I think my people will agree, my people at least on the Fat Flush Nation, that this is much more inexpensive. Cranberry juice concentrate. The cheese may be a little more difficult to find. I find it right up here. We have a Natural Grocers, which I'm really adoring. If you can see this. Oh, now you can see it. And what you have to look for, because Follow Your Heart has various other cheeses. They have other varieties, but it is this particular line, which is dairy-free. It says vegan, lactose-free, casein-free, which is a very big deal because we know that casein is probably more assaulting to the entire system than even lactose. And it's soy-free. It's non-GMO, all new. Follow Your Heart. The varieties that I would look at, and needs to be kept refrigerated, of course, is the smoked Gouda. And there's another one that they have out that's very tasty, a jalapeno, and a third one, the mozzarella. And I think there's one more, but I can't remember the variety. We can't find that as easily here in North Idaho. But those of you that have a Whole Foods market, I mean, you can go to the grocery section and they can order it for you. It's all over the place. You will thank me. This is the biggest Fat Flush find that I have located this year.
How can I get rid of lower abdominal fat? I believe it is related to high levels of cortisol.
Okay, so lower abdominal fat. I mean, we all have these kinds of concerns. Lower abdominal fat, cortisol. So we're all exposed to cortisol. We're all exposed to stress. Cortisol is the stress-promoting hormone. So what would I suggest? Okay, your CLA number 1 that I talked about that is on sale for 30% off today, might I remind you, it has been known to be very targeted to abdominal fat. That's number 1. I would take 6,000 milligrams per day for 2 weeks to try to see if that really helps. I have seen it so in the past 10 years that I've written about it. And I do not represent a CLA company per se. Years ago, I was approached by Tonalin. And they are they're the trade manufacturers of the particular kind of CLA that you now make from safflower or sunflower oil. And I learned a lot about CLA. It is a magnificent antioxidant as well. Good for the breasts, good for the heart, and also very good to get rid of abdominal fat. So that would be number 1, CLA. In addition, and why not develop, like a 2-pronged approach here? Look at the I Love Your Heart, olive oil and fish oil. Because fish oil, and I've written about this as well, has also been found to target tummy fat. So you really get all those omegas. You get the good omega-6 in CLA, and you get the omega-3 that you find in fish oil. So that's what I would do in terms of targeting abdominal fat. And then you have to make sure that you do not increase your cortisol by making sure that you sleep at night and unplug and disable your wireless router. Because what people don't seem to understand, and this kind of goes like this because we don't really want to understand it, it's so inconvenient, but it's true. When you're exposed to all the wireless radiation, and we live in a sea of wireless electro pollution, it's all over the place. You can't go anywhere, whether it's a movie theater, whether it's an airplane, whether it's a hospital, whether it's a coffee house. I mean, we're surrounded by wireless. One of the things that wireless does to the nervous system, it makes your cortisol go haywire. So it allows your body to produce stress-like proteins. They call them heat shock proteins. And in the exposure of this radio frequency that you're getting from wireless devices, you can be secreting up to 20 varieties of these stress-like proteins. That is creating cortisol surges. So what you do is you get rid of you disable your wireless router at night, and you try to put your phone on airplane mode as much as you can. That is just as important as taking your I Love Your Heart or taking some CLA. And that's my story, and I am so sticking to it because I wrote a book about this years ago called Zapped, and whatever I wrote about at that point we're now seeing come true in terms of the latest studies, which show how people are really being affected in terms of their thyroids, in terms of their parotid glands, in terms of their brains with this exposure to electromagnetic or particularly cell phone radio frequency.
How can I get rid of water retention?
So the question is, how can you get rid of water retention? Go to the CRAN and get my book. Which book? Get Fat Flush Plan. We talk about getting rid of water retention in 2 weeks. So the phase 1 of the Fat Flush Plan, number 1, and my claim to fame in that is the cranberry juice, which has those 4 digestive enzymes. That's number 1. If you have low blood sodium levels, if you have low electrolytes, you're going to want to, after 2 weeks, really supplement with a little bit of sea salt, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon once or twice a day, because you will lose water when you're taking this, and you'll lose some of your electrolytes, your water-soluble minerals. I'd also suggest for water retention that you look at vitamin B6 at 100 milligrams after you try phase 1 of the Fat Flush Plan and do your jewel-toned cran water. But this works like a charm. Visit us at Fat Flush Nation. You'll see there'll be testimonials galore about how effective this will be. Well, I'll take 3 more questions because I know you're all getting ready for your Thanksgiving meal tomorrow.
What is the product on your left there?
Okay, so what is on my left? Is this my left?
Yep.
Oh, it's my left, that's right. Okay. Was it this one, the female multiple? Or maybe it's this one, the YC Cleanse. Ah, it's the YC Cleanse. Well, the YC Cleanse is very specific because it gets rid of yeast. And this is the time of year when you're eating sugar and it's sneaking up where you don't want it. You may be drinking more alcohol, even the hard stuff, the wine that we spoke about, and the beer and so forth, because we're social and it's that time of the year. I use YC Cleanse because it's a homeopathic yeast and candida cleanse. It's homeopathic. All that's described on the Unikey website. I'm a brand ambassador for Unikey. I have been for over 25 years, and all that will be explained on the website. And this is my best friend when it comes to getting rid of cravings. So I know we spoke about getting rid of abdominal fat and getting rid of your weight and your water retention. This gets rid of cravings, and it also helps to neutralize some of the yeast and fungus that could be growing in your system and making you want to crave so much sugar. Now, I created the formula based upon some of the GI stool samples, the results we were getting from people. So all of this is very proactive to make sure that you are not harboring any type of fungal problem, because fungus is an underlying cause of a lot of autoimmune problems, including problems with your thyroid and problems with your gut and problems with your vaginal tract and problems with your ears and nose and sinuses. I use this twice a day. This time of the year, and I use it almost every day of the year when I don't forget and when I don't run out. So it's YC Cleanse to the rescue. One more question, that's great.
Is it okay to drink a hot cup of organic dandelion root tea every day?
Of course it's okay to drink dandelion root tea because you're fortifying your liver, and as I say, the liver is a very important organ for detoxification, and you've got to fortify it and cleanse it every day of the year. So yes, it's one of my favorites. I've written about roasted dandelion root for eons. I'm a big believer in dandelion because it's a high source herbally of bitters, which is so important in terms of detoxification. One more question. I can't resist a question.
And will the YC cleanse promote detox?
The YC cleanse may promote detox, the Herxheimer effect, but it goes away in 4 to 5 days. So if you start detoxifying, guess what? Just make sure that your body is catching up and you decrease the amount of what you're taking. You take a teaspoon twice a day, take half a teaspoon once a day, and then just build up therein. So yes, yay to YC cleanse, yay to all these other ingredients, and yay to you. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful Turkey Day, and I will see you in the next 2 weeks.